Hey, golf fans, welcome to Back Nine Report. We are really happy to have Phil Wirtz, President and CEO of the Pinehurst Southern Pines Aberdeen Area Convention and Visitors Bureau, with us once again to talk about all the great things that are happening in the Pinehurst area. Phil, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks, Fred. Appreciate you.
Hey, I know that the Pinehurst area is seeing record numbers right now. Golfers are traveling to play. People love the area. You've added so many attractions, different things. It's just a phenomenal place to come and visit, isn't it?
It is a magical place. It is the home of American golf. We've seen, as you said, enormous growth. It's not just here, as you've seen, Fred, throughout the industry. I mean, with COVID and us being such a rural county, we really benefited from that, as many destinations have. And then when you add the USGA announcement a couple of years ago to build a second headquarters here, in fact, they'll do the groundbreaking for that in early June, the day after the U.S. Women's Open. They'll start construction of the second headquarters, the museum, the testing center, the green grass section, and then staff administrative building as well. So the excitement, the energy is here. You already have a globally recognized destination. The women's open's coming up here in a couple of weeks, and then you got the men's open coming up in 24. So, there's so much momentum going on here. It's a red hot destination, not just to come play Pinehurst #2 and all their courses, but Kelly's courses at Pine Needles, Mid Pines, Southern Pines Golf Club, and then all the others, 38 courses within 15-mile radius. One of the best golf destinations in the world.
Yeah, you mentioned the U.S. Women's Open. We wanted to talk about that a little bit. 77 players are already exempt. Over 1,800 women are attempting to qualify for the U.S. Women's Open. That's to be held at Pine Needles in just a couple of weeks, June 2nd through the 5th. What preparations are going on for that? What can fans expect to see during the week at Pine Needles?
Right. Yeah. Tickets are still available. They can go to uswomensopen.com. Yeah, Pine Needles, it's cool to kind of see it, having played it as much as I have working here in this destination, but to see it transform with the USGA kind of taking over and building all the infrastructure, if you will, for that championship. They're expecting 70,000 people. We had Allison Burns, who's the tournament director, on a program, and she said that ticket sales and pacing for this is 5 years ahead of their average pace for the U.S. Women's Open ticket sales. So that speaks phenomenally well, not only for the popularity of women's golf, but also for this destination and how much this community, the local community, and our visitors support professional golf. So we're looking forward to that. We're just a couple of weeks away. The course is in magnificent condition. You talk about any kind of changes. If you remember, Kyle France did that redesign of that golf course a couple of years ago. So he's added a third bunker. That second hole, it's a really long par 4. And the players can reach what is now going to be a third bunker on the right side. The fairway kind of slopes to the right. So it can come into play on a very long par 4, where if you're going to keep that shot down the left side, you might have a wedge into that green. But if you catch that bunker, you might have a 180-yard shot into a green that really slopes away from the players that lands on the green. And then on the back nine, Kyle added a bunker. There's a kind of a boomerang, big dog leg left par 5, 10th hole. He built a waste bunker kind of from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock across that fairway, which would be in the landing zone of maybe your second shot. So it's kind of a risk reward for the ladies that will come into play during the U.S. Women's Open. So a couple of nuances. And as always, as the Donald Ross golf course, it's all about the greens and the undulations there. You never want to go beyond the flagstick on these holes, because it's a lot of areas that are going to catch that ball and run it off the green. You got to hit certain areas. So, you can be long, but the iron game and the putting game's got to be on to win this championship.
Yeah, Pine Needles, Mid Pines, you know how I feel about those two golf courses. But it's just, Pinehurst, Aberdeen, Southern Pines. It's just not about like Mid Pines, Pine Needles, all the Pinehurst golf courses. There's a lot of other golf there available, and there's a lot of new stuff going on. I think you mentioned some changes at Tallamore and some different things going on. What's kind of new in the area for 2022?
Yeah, Tallamore, you're right, Fred. It's Tallamore and Matt Hauser, their GM's done a great job of kind of adding to the experience there. They added some eco bunkers, which are big sod stack wall bunkers, as you would see in Great Britain or overseas. So he added that on about 5 different holes, have those sad stack wall bunkers now, and they're also going to introduce Pro Tracer. You've probably seen that. There's about 12 to 15 bays right there at the driving range at Tullamore. That should be opening sometime here in the next month or so. So it's going to be really exciting. You can go there and you can play Pebble Beach or Pinehurst number 2, a number of different courses, and they'll have a food and beverage component to it. So kind of like a Top Golf kind of experience on a Pro Tracer kind of branding. So we're looking forward to that. We also have a new amenity in town here. It's called Red's Corner. It's in Southern Pines. It is the first fixed food truck and beer garden in the state of North Carolina. So it's a really cool place and a great amenity to have. I got to admit, I've been there many times since it opened about a month and a half ago, but a really cool place to hang out that's outside, that it kind of reminds you of a kind of a German beer garden. There's no TVs. There's you see people just enjoying the food, enjoying the camaraderie. So it's really kind of a fun place to hang out. So that's kind of new in town right now too. And, always in the back of everybody's mind is when's Pinehurst going to announce Pinehurst number 10, which is not the biggest secret in town at all. And it's going to be where the old pit used to be. So not sure when Tom Pastrier and the hierarchy there at Pinehurst are going to decide to do that. But with the demand and the compression on this market when it comes to hotel rooms and to golf course tee times, we're going to need that sooner rather than later. But that's to come, just hasn't been announced yet.
So let's just address that for a second, Phil. I know if you want to stay right in the Pinehurst area, getting a room right now, I mean, places are booked up, they're full. But you've got other places around there in Aberdeen or Southern Pines or within a 20-mile radius that would work, right?
Yeah, we sure do. I mean, there's some, boutique hotels, if you will. Duncraig Manor is one that's in Southern Pines. It's a 10-room hotel. Actually, one of I can't mention the sponsor, but they booked the entire Jefferson Hotel during the U.S. Women's Open. So that's a great hotel in walking distance in downtown Southern Pines. So you can go right from that hotel and walk to all the great restaurants we have here. In fact, Ashton's Restaurant celebrates their 25th anniversary here in the next week or so. So lots of great options there. And then the short-term rental market here in the Pinehurst area is one of the fastest growing in the United States. So when hotels are booked, especially when U.S. Kids World and Team Championships are here last week of July, first week in August, there's 2,500 kids here from around the United States and around the world that are competing. And a lot of those, when those hotels are booked, the short-term rentals, there's about 400 of them now in Moore County. So there's plenty of selection to do that. We encourage people to look at those options as well when the rooms are booked. But just so people know, when you play a Pinehurst Resort, you have to be a resort guest to play there. But as you said, there are plenty of other golf courses in the destination. We talked about Tullamore and Mid Pines, but Legacy is a great golf course. Jack Nicklaus design. Everybody talks about Tobacco Road, one of the top 100 golf courses in the United States. Always a fun play. And so there are plenty of options in the destination.
Southern Pines just underwent renovation, and as you mentioned,
Right.
the people that own Pine Needles and Mid Pines own that property now, and they brought it up to speed and updated it, and I'm hearing very good things from that as well.
Yeah, and Paul France did that redesign too. So he not only did Pine Needles, and he's worked. He's an up and coming architect that you're going to hear a lot about. I mean, he's worked with Gil Hance, he's worked with Core Crenshaw, he's worked with Tom Doak. He really, paid his dues and worked with some amazing, phenomenal architects out there. And he did completely redo Southern Pines Golf Club, removed about 800 trees. It is a completely golf experience. If you've not played that course in a couple of years, you will be amazed at the sight lines and the improvements there. Still a little rough around the edges with the redesign, as it just was showcased and reopened in September of last year. So in the next 2 or 3 years, it's a great place to play right now. But in the next 2 or 3 years, it's going to be an absolutely gem to play and a must play when you come to this destination.
And one of the things that's kind of just broke through all expectations, par threes have become the vogue at a lot of resorts. And Pinehurst jumped on board and built. And when Gil Hance redid number 4, he also added the Cradle there, the par 3, and that's become a real feature, a real center point, hasn't it?
It really has. I mean, it's 789 yards of the most fun you'll ever have on a par 3 golf course. And one thing, if people remember the little teardrop van they used to have there that sold the transfusions, nice little watering hole there. Actually, they still have that. It's no longer there. They move it around the golf courses there at Pinehurst, but they built a permanent bar called the Cradle Crossing. It is a phenomenal improvement. They needed restrooms out there too, so that was also a great amenity to add out there as well. But the Cradle, yeah, it's kind of set the standard for, these types of par three golf courses. It's so much fun, and when you hear the music out there and people out there playing barefoot, and there's eightsomes or tensomes, there's nobody cares about what time it is or how long a round's going to take. I mean, you're out there to have fun and hit some balls, try to make a hole in one. There are quite a few out there, especially that third hole, that known as the punch bowl. The ball kind of funnels in toward the hole if they have it in the right spot. So it is a ton of fun. I get to play quite a bit, and it's the best hour of golf you'll ever have.
Before we let you get away, Phil, we want to just mention also that it's just not all golf there. I mean, there's great dining, there's great shopping. The Pinehurst Brewery there is a great place to go and have a couple cold ones and also eat. Southern Pines has some fantastic dining opportunities out there. And then even the spa in Pinehurst and some of the other things there to do. I mean, if a family comes there and maybe dad wants to play golf or a couple of the kids, but there's still a lot of stuff for mom to do. There's other outdoor activities as well as shopping, dining, and all the other things.
You know what? I could go through and talk to you about this for about a half an hour. I think the best thing to do is for people to go to homeofgolf.com, specifically go to homeofgolf.com/itineraries. And it gives you about 12 different options, from girlfriends getaways to family ideas. It really takes you through the destination, depending on, what kind of combination you have there. If it's, the girls getting away for the weekend, couples, families, things like that. There's just so much to do, a lot of fun. That's the best option to do. And for packages, looking for golf packages, we have them on our website as well, homeofgolf.com. Tell you about two other things we've got going on that are brand new. We rolled out a new program. It's called the Sandhills Pour Tour program. You get an actual passport. I don't have one here at my desk. I'd show it to you, but it's an actual passport. There are 7 different locations inside the passport, including Pinehurst Brewing Company, Southern Pines Brewing Company, Hatchet Rail House, Southern Pines Growler Company, James Creek Cider House. So you go inside there, you go to all the locations. You don't need to drink at every one of them. You can buy a t-shirt, you can buy a hat, you can buy a pack of nabs, a Pepsi. So as long as you make any purchase, you get a stamp. And once you get that stamp, you come by the CVB and we'll give you a 16-ounce Pour Tour mug and a special Donald Ross 150th anniversary coin, which we've only produced 1,500 of those. And the proceeds of that, $25, will be donated in your name to the Tufts Archives, which is located in the village of Pinehurst and helps preserve the history of Pinehurst. So that's one program we have going on. So we're always trying to do something new, fun, and different for people to experience when they come to the destination. It's been enormously popular, and we just rolled that out on April the 1st.
Well, we've been able to get down to Pinehurst on several different occasions, and the growth of that whole area and all the things to do there, I'm always totally amazed every time I get to go down there. We love it there. And you guys are doing a fantastic job with creating activities for people to do. Even if you've been there in the last couple of years, you should go back, because there's a lot of new stuff, even over the last couple of years. So, hey, we've been talking with Phil Wirtz from the Pinehurst, Southern Pines, Aberdeen Convention Visitors Bureau. Got a big week coming up with the U.S. Women's Open there, but don't shy away. Get down there, see what's going on. Stop by and talk to Phil. I'm sure he'll be glad to see you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Fred. And one other thing we want to mention too, in the next year, talk about new, we've got a brand new distillery that's going to be coming on board. They finally got final approval. That would be very close to Pine Needles, right there where Highway 1 intersects Midland Road. So it's going to be a great addition. The people that own that are former Army high-ranking officers in the United States Army. So they're going to be a great addition, and we cannot wait. It's going to be a destination-type distillery, which will have an amphitheater and a lot of other things going on. So we can't wait to see that take shape here, probably in the fall of 2023 when we get to see that open.
Always something new going on at Pinehurst. Thanks a lot, Phil.
Thanks, Fred. Take care.